The Webb telescope has been used to study a variety of intriguing objects in our universe. From distant galaxies to exoplanets, the Webb telescope has provided scientists with new insights into the cosmos. And now the telescope is turning its gaze towards Pluto. Pluto, once considered the ninth and farthest known planet from the Sun, was downgraded to a dwarf planet in 2006 when the International Astronomical Union (IAU) created a new definition for a planet. This reclassification was due in large part to discoveries made by the Hubble Space Telescope and advancements in ground-based telescopes that revealed Pluto to be one of a class of similar objects orbiting in the remote Kuiper Belt region of our solar system beyond Neptune. Now, the New Horizons mission gave us our first up-close and personal look at Pluto, but there is still much that we do not know about this distant world. The dwarf planet is incredibly cold, with an average surface temperature of -375 degrees Fahrenheit, and since it is so far from the Sun, it receives very little sunlight. But despite these challenges, the James Webb Space Telescope is uniquely suited to help us uncover more mysteries about Pluto. The telescope's infrared capabilities will allow us to peer through the haze that surrounds Pluto and get a better look at its surface. And by studying Pluto's atmosphere, we may better understand the processes taking place on the dwarf planet. On average, Pluto is 5.9 billion kilometers, or 3.7 billion miles, from the Sun. This is about 39.5 times the distance from Earth to the Sun. Pluto is also about 1/6 the size of Earth. Have you ever pondered what would occur if you were to find yourself on Pluto? If you were to stand on Pluto's surface at midday, you would be bombarded by sunlight that is almost 300 times as bright as the Sun. This would be incredibly harsh and unpleasant, and you would probably want to find some shelter from the intense light. However, there is a period each day close to sunset when the light is as brilliant as midday on Pluto. Pluto's average temperature is frigid, -387 degrees Fahrenheit, but contrary to popular belief, Pluto's temperature isn't always so low. In fact, it can range from -232 degrees Fahrenheit to a balmy -387 degrees Fahrenheit. So why is Pluto's temperature so variable? It all has to do with the dwarf planet's unique orbit. Pluto's orbit takes it further from the Sun than any other planet in our solar system. As a result, it experiences large variations in temperature depending on where it is in its orbit. When Pluto was discovered in 1930 by Clyde Tombaugh, the 9-year-old British girl Eileen Drippinglegs Burney, 11, suggested the name Pluto to her grandfather, who then transmitted the suggestion to the Lowell Observatory Institute. The name Pluto was ultimately chosen by the Institute, and the planet has been known by that name ever since. Pluto has 5 recognized moons: Charon, Styx, Nix, Hydra, and Kerberos. These moons were all discovered in the early 21st century, and they are all much smaller than Pluto itself. Charon, Pluto's largest moon, is only about half the size of Pluto. The dwarf planet Pluto has a unique relationship with its largest moon, Charon. Charon orbits Pluto every 153 hours, which perfectly corresponds with Pluto's rotational period of 1 rotation. This means that Charon is always facing the same side of Pluto, and vice versa. This strange relationship is thought to be the result of a tidal locking effect. Tidal locking occurs when the gravitational pull of 2 bodies causes them to rotate at the same rate. Over time, this can lead to one body permanently facing the other body, as is the case with Charon and Pluto. Although Pluto is much smaller than Earth, it still has many features that are similar to our own planet. For example, Pluto has mountains, but they are not made of the same materials that we find on Earth. The mountains on Pluto are huge chunks of water ice, with the occasional frozen gas, like methane, on top of them. These mountains can be up to 11,000 feet tall, which is near twice the height of Earth's tallest mountain, Mount Everest. Although they may be made of different materials, the mountains on Pluto are just as awe-inspiring as the mountains on Earth. Pluto is an interesting world in its own right. For example, did you know that Pluto has a heart shape on its surface? The Tombaugh Regio is a heart-shaped surface of Pluto. It was named after Clyde Tombaugh, the American astronomer who discovered Pluto in 1930. The Tombaugh Regio is about the size of Texas and is located in the southern hemisphere of Pluto. It is made up of two lobes, the larger of which is the Cthulhu Regio. The Tombaugh Regio is thought to be relatively young, as it does not show the same level of impact cratering as other areas of Pluto. This suggests that the surface of the Tombaugh Regio has been shaped by geological processes in recent history. Geologists have also found a landform on Pluto that resembles an ice cream cone. The cone-shaped feature is coated in ice and carbon monoxide, and it is believed to be about 100 million years old. There are several theories as to why the landform has maintained its shape for so long. One theory is that the winds on Pluto's surface are not strong enough to erode the cone-shaped feature. Another theory is that the ice and carbon monoxide acts as a protective barrier, preventing the landform from being eroded. Additionally, dunes are one of the most iconic features of terrestrial planets, and yet they are not limited to just Earth. In our solar system, dunes can be found on Venus, Mars, Saturn's moon Titan, and even on comets. Dunes on Pluto are particularly interesting because they are made of solid methane ice granules that are bent by the wind rather than sand on Earth. Dunes are formed by the wind, and their formation is affected by the type of material they are made of. On Earth, sand is a common dune-forming material. However, on Pluto, the granules of methane ice are much harder, so they are bent by the wind rather than being blown away. The methane ice granules on Pluto are also thought to be considerably lighter than sand grains on Earth. This means that the forces needed to move them around are much weaker, and so the dunes on Pluto are likely to be smaller than those on Earth. One recent study has suggested that the dunes on Pluto's surface may be younger than previously thought. This new study has challenged our previous understanding of the dwarf planet and has raised questions about its origin. The dunes on Pluto's surface were originally believed to be millions of years old. However, the new study has suggested that they may be only 500,000 years old or even younger. This new finding has led scientists to reevaluate our understanding of Pluto and its history. The new study has also raised questions about the origin of Pluto. Scientists are now wondering if the dwarf planet is truly an ocean of frozen seeds that evolved over millions of years, or if it is something else entirely. Now, most scientists believe that it is very unlikely that there could be any kind of life on Pluto. The surface of Pluto is incredibly cold, and even water freezes solid at those temperatures. Without liquid water, it is very difficult for any kind of life to exist. However, some scientists have theorized that there could be life forms that are not based on water. Those extremophiles can survive in incredibly harsh conditions, and some believe that they could possibly exist on Pluto. It is still a very remote possibility, but it is an intriguing one. While the atmosphere of Pluto is mostly nitrogen gas, there are traces of methane and carbon monoxide. These molecules can absorb heat and release it slowly, which means they can potentially support life. Furthermore, Pluto's atmosphere also has a layer of haze that could trap heat and help keep the planet warm. So while the conditions on Pluto are far from ideal, it's still possible that some form of life could exist on the planet. We don't know much about the planet, so we don't know if it will make it through the hostile environment outside of Pluto's orbit. However, the New Horizons mission is helping us to unlock the mysteries of Pluto and the outer solar system, and we are hopeful that we will learn more about this fascinating planet in the years to come. The satellite, already having 5 moons, does not ease concerns that the spacecraft may crash with debris or moons not yet discovered. We will have to wait and see what New Horizons finds, but in the meantime, we can all enjoy the stunning pictures that it has already sent back.